Coker as you split the regular season series with them. How scary are the Cobras, especially facing them a third time?
The first thing about the Cobras, that I saw a guy in the audience here doing a Cobra hand move. It sort of it caught me off guard. First thing about Coker that's so concerning is they have 7 seniors. And so those guys will want to really finish strong, and they won't come in here with a mindset that says, hey, I want to get to spring break, or I'm not sure if this will be over. That's not what they're going to do. They'll come in here ready to fight. And based on our experiences with them in the first 2 games we've had this year with them, their style is versatile. They've got guys that can shoot the 3. They've got some guys that can post up and score it. They play hard defensively. They're physical. So, I think they're well coached. Monster's been there forever, and is so invested in that community in that school that he'll take great pride in the product he brings to put on the floor. So it's going to be a challenge, but I really think that we played them we played them their home opener this year, and then we played them again here the 18th of January. So I just think we're a lot better. I think we've really improved and made some strides. So I'm still confident in our team, despite the fact that I think they're going to come in here and be ready.
How much do you take into account that first meeting? It was your first loss of the year, just because of how long ago it was.
I tell you, we've not usually in preparation. You consider all the games you've played with that opponent. But again, I thought that game in there was almost an anomaly. It was their home opener. They had a really great atmosphere, a really challenging atmosphere. We had some foul trouble that game. Antoine Davis was in foul trouble the game from start to finish. Gosh, I don't even think he made a 3 until maybe the last. He just was not his typical self. There were a lot of things. And of course, we had not established our inside role with Sawyer and Carson and all that. So really I think, and of course we're prepared. Our report's in place. And even today we've already had a good quality practice going into this game. But really the second game, the game here in mid-January, is when we focused most of our time on. And again, like I said, I just think we have made so many strides since mid-January that, yes, we have a lot of the same people, and they do too, but I just think our overall performance together is greater now than it was.
If you look at it, too, Jake Benson found a – did he get a quarter?
We were about 15 seconds away from that being in his mouth, and that's what worried me there for a minute.
Jake Benson, is he 18 months now in attendance?
He's 18 months. Here he is. He's ready.
We can show him off. Yeah, that's my headset. Thank you.
He's ready. Usually he's not sure what to do.
He's hamming it up right now. Oh, that's a nice.
Oh, okay. With that, you must leave. You must leave. Okay.
Nothing like a coach's show where the head coach gets beat by his 18-month-old son.
Yeah,
that's a quality show. Sawyer Williams talking about goats and hip hop, and you get beat by an 18-month-old. That's
might
good
drive our viewer
entertainment.
ratings up.
Yeah. Back to basketball. Instead of your son trying to dribble your head like one, Coker, in the last meeting, you just did evidence of how much you've changed since January 18th. Sawyer Williams wasn't in the starting lineup. Reed Burke got the nod that game. Williams only plays 15 minutes. Carson Brooks gets most of the post touches. He's 7 of 12. Just how difficult is it to change your defensive styles or a team to defend against you when you've made so many different changes from meeting 1 to meeting 2 now to meeting 3?
Well, that's one good thing about what we do defensively. I mean, we spend a great deal of time in preparation, and usually most teams don't have a very big offensive package when it relates to zone attack and what they're going to do. So we have a pretty good feel for the trends and the tendencies of these teams, and so we go in, I think, with an advantage because we sort of know what our plan A is going to be and what our adjustments will be. And then again, the thing is flexible enough that even if they bring something new out of the gate, which we'll see before the first media timeout, we'll make an adjustment there by the second media timeout. So, I think the biggest thing is the offensive variety. Sawyer has really established himself. Carson has done the same. Jared Johnson continued to get better through this year. And then, of course, you have Ish and Antoine that just have delivered at such a consistent rate for their years here. I think we've got more firepower. Of course, we're shooting it well percentage-wise. So it's just hard to compare even January 18th to now. I think we're that different. And a Sawyer dressed. I mean, I think our zone, especially here lately, this last 8-10 games, has really sort of controlled the paint area and forced teams to be more jump shot oriented. And now with that being sort of where we're at this point with it, I just think it allows us to be really the aggressor going into postseason on both sides of the ball, because we just feel confident that we can sort of shut down to whatever degree we want to interior play.
Coker at least might be able to pour it in over top of you. Hit 13 of 33 threes in the first meeting. Julian Nelson has done wonders for the Cobras throughout the year. 23 points against you. Last time out, averages 19 for the season. What stands out to you about him?
He's a senior. He's been there his entire career. He's invested. Quality kid, and he's versatile. He can shoot the three, he can drive. He's got a good in-between game, which a lot of kids don't possess anymore. Goes to the boards. So you can tell he's sort of the leader of that team. But again, I mean, I don't remember exactly the numbers, but I think their overall field goal percentage was low 30s or low mid 30s, and they did shoot the three well. I think they were 13 of 33, like you said. But it's really the bigger picture. If teams shooting high volume threes. And we can control the paint. A lot of times that'll sort of help keep them off the line, and we like our chances when we're doing that.
Larry Felder contributes mightily as well. He was not as great of a factor in the second meeting, only 8 points. What do you remember about his game?
He's undersized, but he's just a warrior. He's a beast, 15 and in. He's fast, he's quick, he's explosive, he's very physical. He wants to get to the rim. That gets him to the line. His percentages are high from both the field and the line. He's tough, and he's one of the guys that we're really, you go in this game really focusing on, because he's just so capable and so aggressive. We'll have to really make sure that when he gets the ball, one, we got to limit his touches, but when he does get it, we got to get multiple bodies in front of him and make him understand that if you're going to go north-south toward that rim, there's going to be bodies in front of you, so you better make sure you've got great body control and not run us over a charge, or because we're going to have people in front of you.
On top of that, Jonathan Gardner really popped up and was a big surprise for Coker last time out. It was a large reason why the Cobras held a 45-40 halftime lead on you. It went 4 of 6 in the first half from beyond the arc before you shut them down. How much do you emphasize that ancillary player like a Gardner who's gone off on you before?
On the year he's averaging less than 3 a game. He can make a three-point basket. But we've said before, Adam, the way we play, a lot of times it's not the typical go-to guy that hurts you. It's some unknown mercenary that comes off the bench, or some guy that just is able to creep into the picture, because we're going to play the percentages most of the time, and especially I think the way we play now with the zone is you can really shut down a really good interior player, which doing that, though, you sort of expose the perimeter some. So I wasn't surprised that kid did that, because he's got a nice stroke. He's got a quick release, and, again, he's a veteran senior. But we've got a couple things that we're going to do differently this game than we did the first game, and hopefully we can find that stretch at some point in the game where the basket just seems 3 sizes too small, and we can hold on.
What you're referencing, 7 consecutive games with a 7-minute field goal drought for the opposition. Have you ever undergone anything like that in your coaching career, with a defensive shutdown that consistently?
No, I haven't. Again, until I became the head coach here, we were strictly a man-to-man team, and of course you have adjustments you can make with man, but typically teams have multiple options to attack man defense. There are only so many things you can do with that zone. There are, and our guys would tell you, there's 5 or 6 things that we know that we have to be able to defend. And if we can defend those 5 or 6 things, it's really more about the individual players and their tendencies. And, the biggest challenge to me when you play like this is the rebounding element, not wanting to give people seconds and thirds And yet, as we've seen, man, I mean, I'm starting to think there's not a really obvious correlation between the rebound margin necessarily and our success. You know, so it's bizarre. I mean, a lot of times you talk about defensive rebounding versus offensive rebounding. What we've come to find, because people tend to shoot more jump shots against us, the misses bounce longer, which then takes people out of position to get that quick put back. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've got to extend an additional 35 seconds, but you know, if we're intense enough about our spot discipline and our defensive spacing, it's not been the end of the world for us.
You're